The winter event has returned to Forge of Empires, and with it comes the return of the classic minigame of opening houses, 2 brand new shops, and so much more. Starting with the main event building, the Royal Midnight Clock Tower, it is 4x4 and has a defense boost focus. It does give 1-up kit and store building fragments, but it's really not that efficient for either of those items. The tower also gives fragments of the 2 new ascendable side buildings, the Snowdrop Garden and Starlight Boulevard Kiosk. They are a little strange in that they have the exact same boosts per tile. The garden is 3x3 and the kiosk is 1x1. This is even the same when they are ascended, as you can see here. The Yukitomo Towers from last year's winter event are getting Platinum and Ascended upgrades, which give it increased productions, Quantum Incursion boosts for both army types now, and 4,000 Quantum Actions capacity. The Platinum and Ascended versions are also roadless. The Penelope's North Star Nursery provides fragments of the Ascended upgrade of the Yukitomo Tower, while also giving a large number of forge points and army boosts. It is 5x5 and does need a road, however. You can only have one of these, as it is the reward for completing the calendar. The winter train from the 2019 winter event is going to be getting an upgrade, but in this case it is only a gold upgrade. The train still needs road connections, but gets massively increased productions and ally rooms. The train cars that you can attach to the train are also getting upgraded versions, the Series 2 cars. These likewise have increased productions, and each gives 1 fragment of a mass self-aid kit. If you build a full set out of these, it will tend to be slightly weaker than what the Breeze Mill from the fall event can give, but the train has the advantage of the last major new building, the Northwind Courier, which produces fragments of the selection kit for the train cars. This makes it significantly easier to get a large quantity of train cars as compared to the fall event's chain pieces. The Courier also happens to be one of the most efficient buildings for finished special production item fragments. You can only get 1 of them from the calendar, with any additional only coming from the winter memories. The Courier also happens to be this event video's giveaway. This video was produced in collaboration with InnoGames, so be sure to head down to the description for the link to enter. The giveaway ends 2 weeks after this video goes live. The minigame for this event is the classic random tiles minigame, where you can spend 10 of your winter bells, the event's currency, to visit a house and receive a reward. Each house also gives 1 to 2 progress towards the grand prizes. Most of the tiles just give rewards like goods, forge points, or blueprints, but there are also some special tiles. The Shuffle tile will completely reset the board, giving you a new start. The Show 2 reveals 2 of the unvisited houses rewards. The Double gives you twice the reward of the next house you visit. There's always a tile that will give you a Lantern Coin, which is the currency for one of this event's shops. The Calendar Key will open the door to the calendar item for today, or give you 1 of 5 fragments needed to assemble a key and 10 bells if you've already opened the door for today. Finally, the Merry Snowman will give 1 of 3 fragments needed to start a superboard with much better rewards. You will see either the key or the snowman, not both. The key appears 25% of the time, with the snowman appearing 75% of the time on the boards. Once you get 3 snowman fragments, your next board will be a superboard. On these, the shuffle is removed. You get twice each of the Double and Show 2 tiles, a guaranteed calendar key, a house with 4 lantern coins, and 1 with 1 starlight coin. That's the currency for this event's second item shop. You also get doubled progress, with it now giving 2 to 4 progress per house. There are plenty of other rewards that will show up on these boards too, and they are quite good compared to the normal boards. From a sample of 100 superboards, these are the items I saw with the proportion of boards I saw them on. Note that this is a smaller sample size, so don't take any of the odds as the set values. They are likely different, but it gives you some idea. Once you press the start button for a superboard, you'll have to clear the entire thing or wait until the midnight reset to move on to a new board. Note that it shows the time until the reset at the bottom of the minigame. At the top of the minigame, you'll be able to see your stock of boosters that will help you on your way in the event. The Snowball Blast removes 1 tile from the board, making you unable to win that reward. However, it will spare the Double Show 2 Calendar Key, Snowman, and the shop currencies. The Shuffle can be destroyed, and if it is, you have to clear the whole board to move on to the next. These will come into play for the strategies later, but they are really useful when you want to make sure that you can get a reward that's on the board. Simply use snowballs until the shuffle is destroyed, and you're guaranteed to win whichever reward you want. The sleigh combo is very useful for getting the most of a reward if you know where it is on the board. Using this booster, the next tile you open will cost no bells, give a doubled reward, and will reveal 2 other rewards on the board. The doubling bonus stacks with the double tile, meaning that you can quadruple a reward if you play it right. The third booster is the toy radar, which reveals the position of the shuffle, show to, and double on the board. It's a good way to avoid the shuffle without spending a ton of snowballs, and can also help you set up a quadrupled reward with the sleigh combo, thanks to it also revealing the show to and double. You can get these boosters from the mini challenge in this event in quite large quantities. 150 snowballs, 25 sleigh combos, and 10 toy radars are available, and you also get 5 starlight coins for completing the entire thing. The mini challenge will have a total of 30 quests spread across the event, with 1 quest unlocking per day. So only the first quest will be available at the start of the mini challenge, where you then have to wait for the next day for the second to unlock, and so on. The quests here are relatively straightforward. Open some number of houses on the board and find some specific tiles on the board. There are no quests asking for productions, goods buildings, or anything like that. It's only minigame related conditions. The biggest trick with this challenge is that you don't have to complete each quest each day. You can let a few stack up at a time and complete them in bursts. That lets you save a few of your bells and completes the quests a bit more efficiently. For example, 4 of the quests will require you to open starlight coins on the board. That's only possible on a superboard, so you don't necessarily have to spend a ton of bells on those days trying to get a superboard. It's fine if you wait to complete it until the next day, if that would save some bells chasing that superboard. I'll be posting the questline of the challenges over on my website at ubernerd14.com/mini/win25. As far as I know, the quests have not changed since beta, but in case they have, I'll update the website. Be sure to keep an eye on them to plan ahead. The link is in the description. As you play the minigame, you'll start to stock up on some lantern and starlight coins, which can be spent in this event's shops. The first one is where you can spend your lantern coins. This is where you can pick up Yukitomo Tower or winter train kits if you need some from the new upgrades, the ascended buildings from last year's winter event, and a bunch of older winter buildings. Make sure you grab some nutcrackers if you need them for the mass self-aid kits. You can also get the Epic Ascended 2025 kit, which is very good if you need an Ascended kit for most of the ascendable side buildings, including the ones from this event. You also have the option to buy a single Starlight coin, which can be handy as those Starlight coins are quite rare. The shop refreshes daily, but don't forget to use your free reset. Not only does refreshing restock all the items, but there are 2 50% discounts that get applied to random items with each refresh. With 32 days in the event, 33 if you play in the last few hours, you are all but guaranteed to see the discount landing several times on the items you want. Every refresh after the first one costs only a single lantern coin, but on average it would cost more lantern coins to land the discount on an item you want than if you just bought the item at full price. Just be careful that you don't wait too long to spend your lantern coins. You can only have a maximum of 20 at any time, meaning that you can easily hit that limit and lose some coins. The second shop in this event, yes there are 2, is only for the Starlight coins. This one refreshes once per week and you cannot manually refresh it. It contains some of the best or rarest buildings, including the higher upgrades for the Yukitomo Towers and Winter Train, the 2 ascended side buildings in this event, and the kits for the Diducts from last year. You can also claim a free 4 lantern coins each week, so make sure you don't forget. There are no discounts here, but there is also no limit on the number of Starlight coins that you can hold at a time. These coins are fairly hard to get, so don't expect to have a large number of them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are keys that open doors in the calendar. The calendar has 32 doors, 1 for each day of the event, and you can get some decent rewards from it. This is the chart of calendar rewards as it was on beta in case you only want to focus on the rewards that you want. I'd call out the Finish All Special Productions item, Nutcracker Guardhouse and Upgrade, Yukitomo Empire kits, and the Epic 2025 Ascended kit as some of the important ones. Each day, a new door becomes available to be unlocked if you find the key in the minigame, or you can use the key fragments to get a door that you missed. If all else fails, it's also possible to buy a key fragment for 100 diamonds, so 500 diamonds per key. Completing the calendar will give you a reward that includes the calendar building, a Northwind Courier, platinum upgrade for the Yukitomo Tower, golden selection kits for the train and main building, and 100 fragments each of the Eternal Market and the 2 allies. The question usually comes down to whether you can complete the calendar for free or not, and I think you should be able to, or at least for relatively cheap. That brings us to the strategies for this event. When we look at the bells that you have access to, there's just over 4,000 across the quests and daily challenge, but you can get some extra from incidents. Feel free to rush the quest line, by the way. There's no reason to save the quests up, and it's nice having extra bells to work with. You'll have to use these bells to reach some progress milestones. The main event building can be completed at a maximum of 1,120 progress, but it is quite possible that you can do so before then due to fragments of its selection kit appearing on the superboards. The Yukitomo Tower's Platinum upgrade is at 1,160 progress, but again, you don't have to reach here to get it as the superboard and the Starlight Shop have the Platinum upgrade available. To get the Eternal Market, you will have to reach 1,200 progress, but you'd still need another 100 fragments for a full kit. You can get those from either completing the calendar or reaching 1,760 progress in the grand prizes, with the calendar generally being the easier route. The last milestones are for the allies, 1,240 and 1,280, again with the stipulation that you will need another 100 fragments from either the calendar completion reward or from much further progress milestones in the grand prizes. For most players, I would highly recommend trying to focus on completing the calendar. You get the most rewards, including the Eternal Market and allies, if you manage to complete the whole thing. Even better, pursuing the calendar means you get a lot of superboards, and therefore you also wind up getting a decent number of coins for the shops and a good amount of progress. The trick with chasing the calendar in this event is to get as many superboards as possible. Remember, those have guaranteed calendar keys. The way to do this is by getting as many snowmen as you can, since every 3 of those is 1 superboard. For each normal board, you'll see either the calendar key or the snowman. It's just a matter of trying to avoid the shuffle to get those items instead. Luckily, the mini challenges give plenty of boosters that can help with this. The toy radar shows the position of the shuffle on the board and also shows the double and show 2 tiles. You can try to use the show 2 to reveal the key or snowman, in which case you can use the double on it. If that doesn't work, you can just open tiles until you find the key or the snowman, after which you can then use the double on the shuffle to move on to a new board. The snowball blasts can also be used to find the shuffle, although in this case you fully remove it from the board. I like to open 1 or 2 tiles before using any snowballs, which saves a few of the boosters for future boards. Then just keep using snowballs until you see a snowballed house with a Polaroid poking out. That's always going to be the shuffle, which means that you've taken it out of play. Then, just like before, you open the remainder of the houses until you find the item you're looking for. If it's the calendar key, you want to stop playing for the day. However, if you've got a superboard ready, you're going to want to finish the board to play it. Once you get to the superboards, you're going to want to clear the entire thing, which gets you the guaranteed calendar key plus tons of good rewards. On either the normal or the superboards, use the sleigh combos to double or quadruple the keys or snowmen when possible. Generally, if the item is revealed thanks to the show 2, the sleigh can get the most out of it. You may realize that the strategy doesn't exactly gel perfectly with the mini challenge, and that's true. You probably won't be completing every quest each day, but that works in your favor. Stacking up a few mini challenge quests can let you complete them in one go, rather than wasting bells trying to chase some of the conditions on individual days. While I can't confirm that this strategy will get you the calendar entirely for free, you would get a lot of progress, coins, and rewards out of it, in addition to giving you a fair shot at completing that calendar. Generally, you'll probably miss a few keys at the start of the event as the mini challenge takes its time to ramp up the rewards a bit, and then as the event goes on, you'll be able to backfill those calendar doors with the key fragments you pick up when doubling or quadrupling the key. However, if you do miss a few doors at the end, you would have to spend diamonds to get the extra keys. If you decide to do that, know that it is much cheaper to buy the key fragments directly rather than buying more bells to try and find the keys in the minigame. In terms of the other rewards, I know many players were looking to see how many Yukitomo Tower kits they could get. You can get 5 from the calendar, including the Epic Winter Kit, 1 from the leagues, 1 from the grand prizes at 240 progress, and then the rest would have to come from the superboards and the shops. If you want them to be your primary focus, I think that you could get 3 or more level 10 Yukitomo Towers. The silver and gold kits are a little bit trickier as they're limited to the Starlight Shop or the superboards, but if you get a little lucky, you can double these fragments or use a few sleigh combos to double or even quadruple them. If you are planning to spend some diamonds or real-world money on this event, there are a couple things of note that you may want to take a look at. First, there are the winter memories. When you open a shuffle, show 2, or double on the board, you also get a little Polaroid which you can use to get rewards for diamonds. The memories page shows you 2 pools of the items at the same time, and you can choose which items you want to add to your list that will cost 3,000 diamonds to purchase. You can also redraw other items from each pool of items by using this button. You can see the other items in the pool by pressing the question mark button. Once you've chosen 7 items, you have to spend the 3,000 diamonds to buy the ones you chose and to start filling in a new set of memories. There are 16 unique pools of items. One pool is the set of items shown on one side of the memories, and here are all the items available with the number of pools that they appear in. There's a wide range of rewards, including allies, bells, the Finish All Special production kits, the Northland Courier, and more. This is the only place that you can get the Courier outside of the calendar completion reward. From discussions on my Discord server, it seems the Courier and Finish All Special production items were popular targets, and on average, you can get about one of these per set of memories, and that includes the double of the last item. This makes them fairly expensive and hard to get, especially if you get unlucky. However, the memories have a bit of a secret if you're planning on buying large numbers of bells for the minigame. It's significantly cheaper via the memories. Every pool has either 50, 60, or 70 bells in it, averaging about 58.5 bells per slot when you choose the higher quantity of bells shown to you. For a full set of memories, this results in about 9.7 diamonds per bell. Buying bells directly in the minigame costs a minimum of 11.9 diamonds per bell, making the memories an 18% discount on the cost of the bells. Even if you get unlucky and only manage to get 50 bells in each slot, it's still about 5% cheaper on average than buying bells directly. It's also worth noting that if you are planning to spend some real-world money, the silver and gold passes are a little bit better than in previous events. They continue giving main event rewards at higher progress, and they don't revert to just boosts and consumables. They also include the epic versions of the allies from this event. Whether you spend or not, I hope you learned something from this video. Consider joining my Discord server. The link is in the description to chat with fellow players about your strategies for the winter event. Good luck with this event, and as always, I'll see you all next time.